of the council. I hope the hell y'all are tired as I am. Look, I'm not going to be repetitive on everything that's said. I work with y'all very closely behind the scenes, and that's what I do best. I don't like to be out here out front. I like to work behind the scenes and do the right thing, make proposals, and get something done that's beneficial not only for the employees, but for the taxpayers in the city. That's the way we do. But we've been put in a compromising position that it doesn't happen anymore. We go and make proposals. We don't need to be here fighting this retirees' insurance provisions. I've said in meetings after meetings after meetings, listen to the oversight committee throw things out there, and the next time I come to a meeting, I don't even know where the things came from that they talk about. We've got people dedicated to this process just as you all are. Now, I've heard all these people talking. As you can see, I had all this stuff ready, and they just tore it all apart because I'd be so redundant. You know the facts. You know that the people are hurting. The Chamber of Commerce knows if we put these people in this insurance provision, they're not going to help poverty, they're going to increase poverty. The Builders Association over there know that if they continue what we're doing now, they don't have to worry about building houses because they're going to have plenty that these people got to give up. That's the thing that we're talking about. I'm not going to bore you with what you've done. You all know what you've done. I applaud what you've done. Sometimes you think it's the right thing to do. Maybe we think different. That's just life. But the real thing is this. Let's be real. I've heard about the tax rate. The tax rate in 1979 was $3.79. Nobody wasn't leaving the city. They were moving in. We were hiring people from Bartlett, Germantown, Collierville. They were becoming proud Memphis firefighters. Now, they're going to Collierville, Germantown, and Bartlett from this city. That is a travesty, in my opinion. I spent 34 years on this job. I don't want to bore you with all the stuff I did. I lay dead into the building. Everybody talks about what happened to them. We accepted that job. But you know what? I heard all these people coming in here today, and they're asking for a promise. They're asking for y'all to give them a promise to give them $500,000 in Fraser. Give the Music Corporation some money to move on. We're asking for the promise that was given to us. Y'all already gave us the promise. Fire and police and all the workers. Over in Little Rock, Arkansas, as most of you know, they can't retain general employees. We talk about fire and police, we got a lot of general employees out here. Little Rock, Arkansas just went to a defined benefit system because the defined contribution was putting them on welfare, Chamber of Commerce. That's called poverty here.
Amen.
That's a fact. It's not a made-up union movement. This is not about unions. This is about lives. This is a look out at these old people. I'm one of them. Y'all put me last. I fell asleep 3 times. But the bottom thing is, it's not about what we can do and what we can't do. It's they can't afford what you're putting on them. They don't have the money. They don't have the salary. The average pension in this city, with all these $80,000, $90,000 salaries that get put in the paper, the average salary is $32,000. Spend 30 years working for the city and you get $32,000. Now, the chamber, the builders, the realtors, you know one thing I heard? Everything I heard from them was, I got to increase my bottom line. Don't raise the taxes. Well, I'm going to break some news to everybody here today. As a city employee, the only way you get paid is through tax dollars. If you're in private industry and you want to give your employees a raise, guess what? You raise your product. You pass it on to people like these retirees here. Now, I don't want to keep being redundant on some of this, but I must say I met with the state treasurer and the state comptroller for 2 hours. Danny Todd, who spoke earlier up here, he and I were in Nashville. I've not heard the chamber, I've not heard the builders, I've not heard the realtors talk about the real problem in this city, that the state of Tennessee says is the number one problem. That's long-term debt. That's what the state of Tennessee says is our number one problem in the city of Memphis. It's not insurance. It's not pension. That's a byproduct. But the long-term debt, and anybody can correct me because I trust some of your figures that you've thrown out. A few years ago, for every $1 million, it was $70,000 out of the general fund. As we speak today, due to this great refinancing that the city did, that caused our debt to go up. I'm not too sure I was knocking the door, but when I refinanced my house, it was to make it go down. So now, we're in a long-term debt of every $1 million, it's $80,000 out of the general fund. Just in 3 years, we've gone up $10,000 a million. But it's the employee's fault. This is not about asking for a raise, ladies and gentlemen. This is not about being a union or management. This is about real life. This is about these employees that now, in their twilights of their life, they got everything imaginable wrong with them. I'm going to talk about firefighters, no offense against my police officer friends, but all I know is firefighters. And they go in these buildings and they get their brains beat out, the ceilings fall in, buildings fall in, they jump up and they run back, and guess what? 20 years later, you're paying for it. You beat it up, but 20 years later, you're coming, and all of a sudden, the doctor can't fix that knee. He can't fix that disc. He can't fix these things. And guess where that goes? That goes to the general insurance. I heard the gentleman talk about being disabled by this city. Guess what takes care of his bills? The regular insurance. Now, I must tell you, and I've told some of you, I've requested from the state of Tennessee an audit of the city health insurance plan. There have been an audit in this city, and they looked at 3 or 4 questions that we gave the comptroller, and they're looking at it, and a state representative has just asked for an audit of the insurance plan. So I ask you, if you can't vote for the employees who have nobody else to take care of them, hold off. Let's take a look at this system and see if it's really as bad as everybody says. I will submit to you today that it's not really as bad as they say. You know, I think certain councilmen have teased me about this when I say figures don't lie, liars figure. And I've lived by that my whole life. But the thing about it is, I'm going to be real quick with this. City Charter, Part 1, Article 7, Section 53.3, retirement and pension systems shall constitute vested interest, including retired beneficiaries. Title 4, Section 4-4-3 Code Ordinance says provisions that permit retirees to continue life and hospitalization insurance under the retirement and pension system by paying the current premium. Now, if you look and you go through the charter, you only have to surmise that the current premium is what's being paid by the active employees, because that's the only premium that's mentioned. So as we go there, then we flip over, and I think I gave this to you, Mr. Chairman, that Tennessee Attorney General opinion that the Tennessee AG opined that acts of ministerial capacity and temporary purpose should be passed via resolution. However, if the governing body, i.e. council, is to legislate, then such legislation be in the form of an ordinance. The Tennessee AG went on to state that any important or material matter enacted by council should be in the form of an ordinance. This is in the form of a resolution. I submit it should be in the form of an ordinance. I didn't say that. The union didn't say that. The Tennessee AG said that. Now, we also have the state, since the administration brought the state in on all this, when they wanted to do this great refinancing that took place that cost us money. So we're asking the state to weigh in on this from a legislative and legal side. We think that what is going on in a resolution form is inappropriate. I'm not an attorney. I'm being given guidance by attorneys, but that is inappropriate. So as we look, some of these things that are parlayed from an ordinance, a resolution can't change what an ordinance does or the charter. We think that the city charter gives us the right to take this insurance into post-employment. It plainly states it. If you pay the premium that you are paying with the provision that they can go up on co-pays and the premium. Not the provision that you must pay 100% of the insurance. It says that nowhere in there. And as we get into all these things, I go back to looking at we talk about the retirees. And we talk about, well, so they can go to the exchange. They can do this. They can do that. Well, we can find a way, working together, doing the right thing, to paying what was promised these people. I'm a retiree. I'm like the brother who was up here before. Thank God I'm not on death's door yet. But the bottom line is, in fact, we do have people that are on death's door, sitting right out there. They're too proud to let anybody know, but we know. We've got people that have had multiple heart attacks since they left. We've got people that's lost legs due to diabetes that's been created, where a doctor says, you know, that's probably caused by your employment. But it's too late. It's after the fact. So, I know y'all are tired. And I know that you're rushing to get a budget. But let's back up. Nothing says that you can't set a tax rate without a budget. Nothing says that we can't find a way to come back to the table and discuss the contract that we have with these people. They've done their part. You know, they didn't have a choice. It was tax deductible. Everything that they paid was payroll deductible. So they paid every premium. They paid every pension obligation. They paid everything that they were told to pay. Now, some of you all wasn't around, and some of you probably wasn't even born. But let me give you a little quick synopsis of what it was when you hired onto the city back when Brother Beasley was talking and when I came on with some others. There wasn't any unions. You didn't get a choice to get up here and talk like this. You didn't get treated like an American. If you wanted to work for the city of Memphis, you did what you was told, when you was told, and how you were told. Now, when you walk in, I said, what about this insurance? I'm a 21-year-old kid. I'm invincible to the world. I don't need insurance. They said, boy, you will take out insurance. You will take out life insurance. You will pay this pension. That is an order. If you didn't do it, they suspended you. Now, people laugh about that, but that was the real world. And guess what? We all took it. We all were told, not just by the fire service, but we were told by the city administration, the mayors. The mayor used to come out and talk to all the recruits. Everybody said, you're not going to make a lot of money, Malone. Sure didn't. Never did. So when you think about putting these people in this position, seriously, this is not jokes. They don't have the money to pay. We hear people coming up here lobbying y'all about, well, we got to keep the tax rate because we got to build more houses, or we got to not keep the tax rate because we got to bring in more businesses. What are we doing with the people we got? What are we doing with these poor people that can't afford to live? They are putting money into the system. These retirees, for every dollar that comes out of the system, $2.38 is generated by the dollar that they put in. But for this community. So I know I'm running out of time. I told y'all I wouldn't get wound up. I didn't even use this. But seriously, I appreciate what y'all do. I enjoy working with you. But I'm saying, seriously, protect these old folks. Think about if your mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, think about if that was them. That's the way I look at some of these folks. They're old enough to be my grandfather. So please support the retirees. Vote down this budget. Let's find the money to give these retirees their insurance, and thank you for your time.